and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I have a very interesting video for you guys where I'm going to take you through the 5 ways that the universe might be trying to communicate with you. Now the reason why I'm making this video is because I'm a strong believer that the universe always has my back. Now when I say the universe, I do not mean any religion or any kind of God. All I mean is there is a higher energy that is responsible for everything that happens around us, to us and for us. Everything that is written for us happens for our greater good. And even though in our worst situations, it's hard for us to see the bigger picture, but looking back at so many difficult times, we know that had those things not happened to us, we wouldn't be here today living our happy dream lives. And even though you might be in a difficult situation today, I am sure that there are ways that the universe is trying to comfort you, give you the reassurance and the hope that you need to keep on going. And which is exactly why we need to recognize the ways that the universe might be trying to communicate with us. So under which the first sign is the numerical signs. Now from the digital clock on your phone to the thousands of number plates on cars that you see every single day, we come across numbers anywhere and everywhere, and so it is the easiest way that the universe can communicate with us. Now if you are on top of things like this, you probably know of the concept of angel numbers. And so angel numbers are nothing but the signs from the universe. Each angel number has a meaning associated with it. So if you're seeing recurring numbers every now and then it certainly means something, and the best way to do it is to just go online and look at what it means. But I want to give you a real life example of something that happened to me, which will reassure you that this is a real thing. So about a month ago when I left my 9 to 5, I was in the worst place ever. I can't even begin to tell you how stressed or anxious I was. And the worst part was when I left my 9 to 5, ideally it should have been like I left my 9 to 5 and went back to doing content creation full time in full swing. But I was sick. I had the worst case of viral fever. For the first 1 week of having left my 9 to 5, I was on bed rest. So while I was in bed and I was feeling all of this anxiety from having left my 9 to 5, not being able to work towards something I wanted to work towards, I decided to continue journaling from once a day. Now I wanted to do it twice a day because I was just that motivated. And the first line that I used to write every single day for that entire week was that I am the luckiest girl alive. I am the luckiest girl alive. Nothing at the time was even close to being lucky. In fact, it was the complete opposite. I remember I got better and I was like, now I need to post. I made a reel. It said, I soft launched my boyfriend during last Ganpati. If you haven't seen the reel, just go and see it. But it was the first reel that I was putting up after having left my 9 to 5. I was like kind of hoping that it works in my favor. So just after a few minutes of posting that reel, I opened my Instagram and I'm like, okay, how is it doing? And within like 2 minutes, the reel was already at 77. And I was like, 77 views, great. Okay, we're already at close to 100 views. About an hour later, I saw that the views had already reached 777. A few hours later, the views had reached 7,777. So I definitely started to see patterns. I was like, 777, I don't even know what it means, but it did strike a chord in my head. But again, I was too caught up in just engaging with people. The next morning, I woke up and I saw the reel. It was at 777K. And I was like, what the hell? One, I was not expecting the reel to do this well. Two, what is with this 777 pattern? So I immediately go on Pinterest and I search 777 angel number. The number means luck is on your side. You're going to get very lucky. I was just so shocked because I was writing since the past 1 week this new sentence in my daily affirmations, which was, I'm the luckiest girl alive, and then I'm seeing the number 77 and it has to do with luck. It was like that hope I needed to confirm that this is something that I can do, that content creation is a space that I can acquire, and this video just gave me so much hope. So this is real. I'm not even kidding. This is so bizarre. This was weird. I agree. But it did happen. There you have it. It was a sign all along. The next sign is dreams. Now, a lot of people are known to like see things or know about things in their dreams because our subconscious mind is always awake. Even when we're asleep, our subconscious mind comes up with a culmination of the different things we experience, things we know of. It's a whole mixture, and most of the times our dreams don't mean anything. Like, they are weird, they're bizarre, they are almost like an imaginative thing, and you know that something like this can't happen. But there are certain dreams that just, it's more like a message. Like, when you wake up, you remember the dream. That doesn't happen all the time. Like, I'm somebody who doesn't remember any of my dreams. And second, you kind of keep going back to whatever you saw. Like, even though you woke up, okay, you do remember certain dreams, but something keeps pushing you to kind of go back and think about it. So if that is something that is happening to you, give it that thought that it needs. For example, about 2-3 months ago, I had this dream about being in Paris. And Paris is, by the way, on my wish list. I've never been to Paris, but I want to go there. I've always wanted to work in Paris, but I don't know, I never thought of how I could achieve it. And suddenly, out of nowhere, in my dream, I'm seeing that I'm living in Paris and I'm speaking French. And when I woke up, that was just the dream. This is the only part of the dream that I remember. But when I woke up, I had this voice in my head that kept telling me, learn French, learn French. And I was like, why do I suddenly have to learn French? Like, it's not something that has ever crossed my mind. But if I think about it, learning French is the easiest way to kind of achieve my dream of going to Paris. Not only because it's easier to communicate with the people, but I can actually work in Paris. So I spoke to a friend of mine whose mom used to be a French teacher. I spoke to her, she gave me the contact number of a French institute. I go to the French institute to find out more, and you know what they tell me? They tell me that once you join the course and you complete all of your different levels, they also have job opportunities in France. I was going from doing a 9 to 5 in marketing to going to do content creation full time, and to also study a course in French, which brings me one step closer, or actually couple of steps closer, to achieving my biggest dream in my whole life. It comes out of nowhere. I think of it in a dream, and I wake up with this thought to just learn French, and it's insane. Imagine how I could go from doing content creation to actually going to France, and what if I become the real life Emily in Paris? So yes, if you are remembering certain dreams, if you are waking up with this thought that keeps telling you to do something, see if that is something that aligns with whatever you're facing in your current life. See if it aligns with one of your aspirations. See if it is something that you can actually do for yourself, and you might just be surprised. The next sign that the universe might be sending you is through psychics. Now, a lot of people don't believe in psychics, but I think there are these authentic, real psychics who are literally like the messengers of the universe. But I'll give you a very prompt example of this. So I think 6 to 8 months ago, Ritesh and I were living in a different house. While we were living there, it was a beautiful house, and it was like our dream home. During the time, even though everything in our life was relatively perfect, we used to have a lot of arguments, like petty arguments. We suddenly went from being super compatible to not agreeing with a lot of things, which is something that was very new for us. We just couldn't figure things out, and we just thought that, okay, this is probably a phase and we just have to get through it. While we loved each other and each other's company, it was just getting so difficult to navigate through these daily stressors that we were going through. Then later one day, we are in the lift, okay, at like 11 in the morning, and this one particular uncle steps in. He is this old uncle who literally has like a dialect of like a rural villager, and he's wearing these glasses out of which like one of the frames is broken. And we tend to notice him because he's like singing songs, like he's humming. He just starts talking. Then he starts like telling Tritesh about how he's like, you're going to get big successes, you're going to do big things. And then he goes on to say, look at me and say that you've got a very good guy. Everything that is happening to you guys right now is going to be fixed. He even literally goes on to say that never doubt his intentions or how much he loves you. He's only going to love one girl in his entire lifetime, and if he's chosen you, you are the one. Everything that he said was exactly what was happening to us. It was almost creepy at this point. And the elevator reaches the ground floor. He walks out without like saying anything else to us. We never saw that uncle later on. We just like walked out of the elevator, Going from not having anything in our mind to feeling extremely secured, to feeling extremely reassured. We went back home feeling so close to each other. You'll get a feeling, you'll know that whatever this person is saying to you is somewhere true, and if you are getting that feeling, it just might be a message that the universe is trying to send you. And while we're on the subject of like psychics and intuitive people, sometimes, if not like extreme psychics like the one that I spoke about, you might just have certain people in your life, or you might be that person who is extremely intuitive. In my case, I am slightly intuitive, but my mom is super intuitive. Like, there have been some very weird things that have happened, where she's said something that has been going on in my life, even though she had no idea that was true. I'll give you an example. When I was in college, I was extremely insecure about the way I looked. I had the worst hair ever. My skin was filled with acne, and I'm still so paranoid that my skin is going to flip, and at some point I'm going to get all of that acne again. I'm going to get super insecure. I was trying to do YouTube, but I was not at all confident. Somewhere in my mind, I definitely wanted to do content creation, but I was always so like, I wouldn't like say it out loud. I had some really shitty friends who used to make fun of content creators, and used to say things like, oh, you're an influencer, and just to like get included and not like add to the whole insecurity, I used to agree with them and make fun. So it was a bad phase. And my mom used to always tell me that you're very good at speaking, you're very good at curating things, plus you're a creative person, you do editing, and I was in a film school, so I did have that little bit of knack when it came to like shooting, editing, thinking of creative things. So my mom used to always tell me, you know what, you should get into like influencing, you should get into making videos, do it on YouTube, do it on Instagram. But with the way I used to feel about myself, I never saw myself ever coming in front of the camera. Every time I used to take a picture, I used to hate it. Every time I used to take a video of myself, I used to use like editing apps to smoothen out my skin. That's how bad it was. Had I listened to her back then, and had I started this journey at that time, maybe I would have been at a bigger place. Of course, things are supposed to happen a certain way. You don't get what you want until you are ready for it in every way. So my mom was completely intuitive. My mom knew I would get into the content creation space, and she always said it. Always. So yes, if you have such intuitive people in your life, or you are that intuitive person and you have this gut feeling about something, go for it. And the last is secret messages only for you. There are certain messages that only you can kind of see, and only you can interpret also in the right way. For example, going to certain movies and hearing a particular dialogue, like the entire movie, the storyline has got nothing to do with whatever is happening in your life. But that one particular sentence or that one particular dialogue that the actor says, it strikes a chord in your head. You come across that particular book in the library which you didn't even plan on buying in the first place, but suddenly there it is, and something is telling you to go ahead and read it. That could be a sign. Reading a billboard that makes absolutely no sense to anybody else around you, but it'll make sense to you. You have this gut feeling that it is written for you. Movies, dialogues, songs, lyrics in the songs. I mean, these are just secret signs. The universe always keeps on trying. The universe is your best friend. It is never doing anything to harm you, even when it puts you in the worst situations and you might feel like, how is the universe ever on my side? It almost hates me. It's not true. It's doing for your greater good. In the bigger picture, in the long run, you're going to see it for yourself. And while it's putting you in those situations, like I mentioned, it will keep on reassuring you. It's just that you need to see the signs. Sometimes we're attracted to certain people and we don't get those people, and we think, this is the person I want and the universe is not giving it to me, so it must hate me, right? But in hindsight, you think of the partner you end up with, and this is the person you need. This person cares about you, and had you ended up with that person, you would have been unhappy. Even though it doesn't give you the things that you want sometimes, it definitely does the right things for you at the right time. So just believe in the universe, recognize these signs for yourself, and keep on going, keep on working towards your goals, no matter what. With that, I want to end today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you like such videos, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.